Hey, so you just got your new iPhone 11 and you're sitting there thinking, I'm super excited about this, but what can I do with this phone? What makes this phone different from the previous iPhones? Well, today in this video, I'm going to help you answer some of those questions. So keep watching and I hope you learn some new things. So the first thing that you should know about your new iPhone 11 is about the camera. The camera is obviously the most exciting and biggest change to the new iPhone 11. Comparatively to the iPhone XR, it now has two cameras. Now what's the difference? Well, actually the first camera is exactly the same as the XR. But the second camera is where the difference comes because now the camera is able to take ultra wide shots. And the biggest difference that you'll notice right away is when you go into the camera app. And once you click on that app, you'll notice this little circle on the bottom of the screen that says 1x. And sometimes you'll see that the screen is translucent through the black behind the words and behind the shutter button. And that is just saying, hey, this shot might be better to take on a wide shot. And so you just click on that 1x and then you'll be able to see what it looks like on the wide lens. And so you can easily go back and forth between the two by clicking on them. Now Apple has made it so you don't have to choose just one or the other. You can actually choose to go in between the two sizes and just do that by clicking and holding on that circle, and you can scroll your finger left or right to zoom in or zoom out. And this is a really handy feature, especially when you're videoing. And you can actually change it while in the middle of a video if you need to make sure that you're getting closer in on the subject or if you're just wanting to zoom out on the subject. And this is a cool feature because this can really help you out in those moments when you've been with your friends and you're trying to take a picture of everyone, but you just can't seem to get far enough away because for some reason the camera just zooms in super close whenever you take a picture. So this should help solve a lot of those problems. Another huge change for the iPhone 11 is that there's now low light photography. And you'll see an example here where I take a picture in normal and then take a picture with low light photography. And you can tell that it's going to be taking a picture in low light photography because the moon on the top left is highlighted. And this happens automatically on your phone, you won't have to worry about it, and you can turn it off and on as you want. But once you take the picture, you see how it has a countdown on the bottom of the screen, making sure it's able to take in as much light as it can to make the most bright picture and the most quality picture. And as you can see at the end of this example, that it has really brightened the photo up quite a bit more and improved the quality of the photo. I was really impressed with this addition to the iPhone 11. It is no question one of the best phones for low light photography on the market right now. The next feature that has been added to the iPhone 11 is that you can now take portrait mode selfies with the iPhone 11. And when you click on it, you can see that it easily takes the picture of its subject with the background blurred out, and so you get a nice, crisp, beautiful picture with some great bokeh in the background. This is great for taking pictures with your friends or you're just next to and you just want to get a great picture. You can also play around with it with the new lighting that they've added. They've added a new stage light, a stage light mono, and a high key mono for taking the pictures. In my experience with these, they've been a lot of fun. Although it does seem like there does need to be a little bit more work as the bugs are being worked out with this. It's not perfect quite yet, but it is a lot of fun. So you have selfies, but now you also have, as Apple terms it, Slo-fies. You can now take slow-mo videos with your front-facing camera. And so you'll see an example of that there. My hand is waving, and then you see my hand waving slower with the slow-mo video camera. Next, you'll see that the portrait mode now is able to take portrait mode photos with not only just people, but it's able to take photos of animals and objects and plants or whatever you're wanting to take your portrait mode picture with. So you see an example of here, me taking a picture of this plant and then the background is blurred out. Then after you take the portrait mode photo, you can also edit how much bokeh you'd like to be in the photo. In other words, how blurred out would you like the background to be. So you can just click on those settings on the top left and you'll be able to change how blurred out the background and how not blurred out it is. Now with the new iPhone 11, we've been hearing a lot about how tough the new glass is. And is it shatterproof? No, but it is a lot better than it has been in the past. I've seen videos of people dropping this from all sorts of places. The one concern that I do have with the iPhone falling is flat on its back on a hard surface, connecting those cameras straight to the ground. And I've seen that those tend to cause the most breaks in these new iPhones. So I still do think a case would be a huge help, especially to help keep that back bump on the phone from smashing the ground and then causing your whole back of your phone to shatter. So another change about the iPhone 11 is its battery life. It actually can last an hour longer than the iPhone XR could, and which is amazing because the iPhone XR already had such incredible battery life for an iPhone, one of the best on the market out there. And so now the iPhone 11 is up to an hour longer. Apple claims that this battery life means that you can watch up to 17 hours of video playback or 10 hours of playback that is being streamed, which means you can watch all of your favorite YouTubers like Jaden Vedok's channel, which is one of my personal favorites, for much longer now. Also, the iPhone 11, just like the iPhone XR, is water resistant, but now it is water resistant up to 2 meters for 30 minutes instead of just 1. And you'll see an example of it here going underwater. One thing that you could notice is that the speakers will sound a little bit weird when you first pull it out of the water. I found though to fix that problem, if you just play a song and turn it up to max, it should do a good job at pushing the rest of the water out of those speakers, and you shouldn't see any more problems like that in the future. Next, Apple has added a new Ultra Wideband chip. They call it the U1 chip for spatial awareness. And the main use of this chip is currently for airdropping things. So when you're in a room full of people, all you'll need to do is just point your phone at someone else who has the same U1 chip in their phone, and they'll be the first person to appear on your airdrop list. Again though, they do need the U1 chip, and it doesn't work with anyone who doesn't have that. Therefore, anybody who doesn't have an iPhone 11 or newer would not have the U1 chip, and it won't work with them. And the final feature that you should know about your iPhone 11 is that it now has audio sharing. This is a huge feature that I've been wanting for a really long time, and it can actually work with any iPhone from the iPhone 8 and up, but only with wireless Apple products. And to make this work, you'll start by just going to your control center and then long pressing on the music app, and then you'll click on the little wireless button that looks like the AirDrop, and you'll go down and you'll see your different devices that you can select from. And then as you see your devices, you'll just go down to the circles next to those devices and just click on them, and then after a moment, you should be able to see both of them pop up with a volume indicator underneath, showing you that they're both connected. And the volume adjustment for the both of those can be done individually, or you can do it for both of them with the master volume control as well. Now once you leave and go back to the main control center screen, you'll see a new badge that has appeared on the volume indicator part of the screen. And if you long press on that, you'll be able to see the volume indicator for each one of your wireless devices individually, and you'll be able to change them individually as well, just quickly. Now if this jump to the iPhone 11 is a big jump, like from the 6S or 6 or even 5S, you'll notice a lot of new changes, and a lot of those changes should be pretty obvious. Some of the fun ones are an emoji is now available. You should definitely make your own character. It's a ton of fun. The front-facing camera is now a 12 megapixel camera instead of just a 5 megapixel if you're jumping from like the 6S or something like that. You've got the Face ID. You can now wirelessly charge your phone. And lastly, there's no more 3D touch. So you can't hard press on your phone, as I like to call it. You have to long press, as I've seen earlier in the videos. Well, I hope that you liked this video. Make sure you comment below if you have any other questions about your new iPhone 11 and what it can do and cannot do. I'd be happy to see how I can help you with those questions. And also make sure to like and subscribe so I can continue putting out more videos like this for you in the future. Thanks.